Hello friends, in this video we discuss about the deep learning. Requires both as large amount of the label data and computing power. It is organized, can accommodable for both need. Deep learning can be used as area as much digital assistance, fraud deductions and facial recognition. Deep learning can also be a high recommended accuracy which is critical for other potential applications is a major factor such as the autonomic and model devices. The next question arises how deep learning works. Computer programming that use deep learning go through such that the same process as a toddler learning is to identify a dog. For example, deep learning programming having multiple layers for interconnected nodes with each layers building upon the last of the referred and optimized predictions and classification. Deep learning performance non-linear transformations it to be input and use. What is to be learned to create a statistically modes to output literature continue until the output has been reached at acceptable. The number of the processing layer through which the data must pass in what expired the labor day. In traditional machine learning, the learning process is superlative at and the programming must be extremely expensive specific while telling the computer what type of the things it should be looking for. The deduction if an image contain a dog or does not contain a dog. It is labor process called features extractions and then computer success rate depend entirely upon the programming ability to accurate a feature set for a dog. The advancement of deep learning is still features set by itself without suspensing. Initially, the computer programming might be the provider with training data as a set of the image from which a human has labeled image dog or not dog with the program using the information to receive from the training data to create a feature set of the dog. In this case, the model's computer first creating might predicting that anything in a image that has been lag and should be labeled. Pattern for the pixel into the digitals with each the production models become more complex and more accurate. Unlike the toddler who take weeks and even months to understand the concept of the dog and computer programming that use deep learning algorithms can be showing and training set and short through millions of the image and accurately identify which image has dog in them within a few minutes. To achieve an acceptable level of accuracy, deep learning programming require access to many amount of the training data and processing power, neither of which were easily available to. Programming until the era of the big data and cloud computing become deep learning programming can create complex to extends output is labeled to creating the unstructured data. Deep learning methods. Various methods can be used to create strong deep learning models. These techniques include learning, create, decay, transfer learning, training from scratch, and dropout. Learning, create, decay. This learning rate and the hyperpigmentation factor that they define the system or the set condition of its operation period to be the control how much large to models expressions in the response to will be estimate error every weight or altered learning rate that are too high may. Result is unstable training process of the learning for a subpointal set of the weight learning rates that are too small that has the potential to get stuck. The learning rate decay method, also called the learning rate and leaning and adaptations learning rate. The easters and most common adaptations of the learning rate during training include technique to reduce the learning rate over time. Transfer learning. This process involved perfections and previously training models. It required an interference of the internal of a prefixing network. First, user for need to extend network new data containing previously unknown classification. Once adjustment and made to be the network, new task can be performed with more specific categories ability. This requirement method has the advantage of requirement much less than data other reducing competition to the minutes of the hour. Training from starch, this method required the developing to clone a large labor data sets and configuration a network achievement that can learning from features and models. This technique is especially useful for new applications as well as applications with may output categories. However, overall it is the less common approach as it required indicate amount of the data casing training taking days and weeks. Dropout. This method attempt to solve the problem of overfitting in network with large amount of the permanent by the randomly dropping units and their connections from the neutral network during training. It has been that the dropout method can improve the performance of the neutral network on supervising learning tasks as areas such speech recognition, deep learning neutral network. A type of the advantage machines learning algorithms known as artificial neural network and dropped most deep learning model. As a result, deep learning makes some time to refer to be the deep learning natural learning. DDNC consists of input hidden and output layers. Input nodes as a layer to replace input data number of the output layers. For example, yes or non output only need to need nodes. Layers in the neutral network. That's it. It is all about the deep learning which we can discuss in this video. If you want to more interesting video, then like and share, subscribe my channel.